Okay, our next part is that we're going to focus on our next topic, which is called integers. Now, integers, or we can call these integer basics. So if you want to, you can put integer basics. Integer basics is fine. Let's change that. So recall that, please write this down. Recall that when we're dealing with positives and negatives of some sort. So for example, when I'm doing my bank account and I'm thinking that, okay, well I have, I have $35.99 that I spent at a store for groceries or something like that. Well, really, that's minus $35.99 because I'm paying for something. Well, let's say I get my paycheck for my job, and I'm going to add at the end of the month. There's a total here. Maybe your total of expenses. Your total expenses are down here. Well, technically there's a negative dollar amount. It's what you bought. You have a job, you're working, you get paid. Well, so when you get paid, you have positive dollars. So really, you're dealing with negatives and positives at the same time. So that's the idea behind this. But as we involve our math skills, just recall that a negative, so if you don't know this, a negative times, remember that little dots times, we don't use the x's really anymore for times. We use that little dot. So this little dot for multiplication. So we're not using that x anymore. We're using that little dot for multiplication. It's because we are dealing with x's in our or letters in our algebra. So that's what we're dealing with. So what is a negative, or in some cases a person that says a negative, which can also be a minus? What's a minus times a minus? Or a negative times a negative? It's negative. Okay? What's a negative times a positive? A negative. What's a positive times a positive? Positive. Okay, cool. Now we're going to do something here. A negative plus a plus, or positive. A negative plus a positive. Well, really, it's going to be depending on the numbers you're given. It can be either or. So put a question mark here for now. For this one, a positive plus a positive is always going to be a positive. Here's $3. I give you another $3. Well, you had $3 for plus another $3. You have $6. Hopefully, right? Division. Remember, this is what we call the quotient. The quotient, which is also division. Negative divided by a negative is a what? So a negative divided by a negative. Some of your teachers, maybe in recent years, they've done negative divided by a negative. They might have done that. It's the same thing. But actually, this is going to be more of the key part now, the more of the way we're going to do math, because this actually sets up our numbers nice, not something like this. I would really, or remember this little box you have, let's see, 3 to 10. Well, that's the same thing. This is the same part, but we're going to use this more now, this setup, because it's more into the upper math that we see. All right. What's a positive divided by a negative? It's a negative. So, a negative divided by a negative, I'm sorry, is a positive. So there you go. Those should be what you remember from recent years. But I don't know. Okay, let's go from examples here. When I like to sometimes be lazy. Yeah, be lazy. Mathematicians are known for being lazy sometimes. So when I say EX, means example. So for example. Some teachers, they might do like IE, but I do EX because it's short for example. All right, so example 1. So example 1, if you want to do it this way. I'm going to give you some integers. Now they can be positives, negatives, decimals. You might need to go back to those number types and see what an integer is. But it's really everything that we've had. Negative, fractions, positives, 0. So let's do this. Here we go. We're going to be using these. So let's see. $5 plus $5. Oh, that's easy. $5, $5, $10. Cool. 2. 5 minus 3. Now let's see. 5 minus 3. A 2. Okay. 3. 5 minus negative 3. Uh-oh. 5 is fine. By the way, this is plus 5. Minus negative 3. Now, some of your teachers in recent years, they might have done this. Circled those and went positive. I don't care. That is perfect. Do I like to always do that? No. Because I wasn't actually taught that. I was taught some other way. I was taught actually the number line. So, this is going to be positive now. So that's going to be positive 8. Okay. 4. 6 minus negative 2. Okay. 5. 1 minus 2. Positive 1 minus 2. So I have $1. I go to the store. I had to borrow $1. So I'm in negative. So I'm in negative dollars. So this is going to be negative or minus 1. If you can't do this, I hope that you can go back to that number line. Okay? And I will do the number line later. But the idea is here. 6. -1 minus 2. -1 minus 2. Minus 3. Okay. Now, you studied this, but I haven't had any of those yet. We're getting there. Oh, wait, didn't I say a negative plus a positive? Let's see. A negative, well, this is negative, but let's do 7. -1 plus 2. What's -1 plus 2? Well, that's a negative plus 2. Well, we don't know. Well, actually, it's just going to be 1. Okay. On the next continuation of this, we're going to go through the number line with more of these. So I look for you next video. All right, bye.